Whether we like it or not, the way people around us treat us can change as we age. Have you ever felt that friends gradually reach out less? Family members become less patient, or even strangers no longer treat you as kindly as before? Perhaps you have experienced the feeling of being ignored, of no longer being valued as you once were, despite having a wealth of life experience and so much to share. This can be disheartening and at times deeply hurtful. But what if I told you that the reason isn't just about how others change, but also about what you are doing or not doing? Sometimes, without realizing it, we develop habits or behaviors that gradually create distance between us and others. These changes can be subtle, happening slowly over time, but their impact is very real. The good news is that once you recognize these patterns, you can make adjustments to improve your relationships and make your later years more fulfilling and meaningful. In today's video, we will explore 6 things that might cause people to drift away from you after age 70. These are not things you intentionally do, but rather behaviors, attitudes, or ways of thinking that develop over time and may create barriers between you and your loved ones. Remember that making changes does not mean losing yourself. It simply ensures that you remain the best version of yourself, someone that family, friends, and even new acquaintances want to connect with and appreciate. Be sure to watch until the end, because sometimes just a few small adjustments in mindset and behavior can significantly affect how others perceive and treat you. And most importantly, the love and respect you receive from others often start with how you treat yourself. Now let's get started. 1. Being stubborn and resistant to change. The world around us constantly evolves, and one of the biggest mistakes many older adults unintentionally make is clinging to the familiar instead of learning to adapt. When we resist change, we limit ourselves and create distance between us and those around us, making relationships grow more distant over time. A prime example of this is the rapid advancement of technology. Today, the way people communicate, work, and stay connected is vastly different from the past. You might find using smartphones, social media, or messaging apps challenging or unnecessary. But try putting yourself in the shoes of your children, grandchildren, or friends. They are accustomed to these tools and use them daily to stay connected. If you refuse to embrace these changes, maintaining relationships with them will become increasingly difficult. Your grandchildren may prefer texting over direct phone calls, and your old friends may organize gatherings through social media rather than calling each person individually. When you reject these new forms of communication, it's not that others are abandoning you. It's that you may unknowingly be creating a barrier between yourself and them. Instead of feeling intimidated or rejecting new things outright, try approaching them with an open mind. You don't need to become a tech expert or follow every modern trend, but curiosity and willingness to learn can help you stay connected with the world. The next time someone introduces you to a new technology, instead of dismissing it with phrases like, "I don't understand this at all, it's useless," try a softer approach, such as, "That sounds interesting. Can you show me how to use it?" Or, "Can you help me understand this better?" A simple question like this can spark meaningful conversations and bring you closer to your family and friends. No one expects you to adapt instantly or accept every change without hesitation. However, if you maintain a curious and open-minded attitude, people will appreciate you for it. Remember, adapting to change doesn't mean losing your core values. It simply expands your opportunities to connect and enjoy life in a richer and more modern way. 2. Giving unsolicited advice or criticism. With age comes a wealth of valuable experience. You have witnessed life's ups and downs, seen trends come and go, watched others make mistakes, and gained deep insights. It's natural to want to share this wisdom with others, to help them avoid the pitfalls you once faced. However, not all advice is welcomed, And when it is given without being asked for, it can often come across as judgment rather than genuine guidance. This is especially true when interacting with younger family members. You may see their mistakes, whether in managing finances, parenting, or even their daily lifestyle choices. You might try to point out their missteps out of good intentions and offer a better way forward. However, rather than feeling supported, they may perceive your words as criticism, control, or condescension. This can create emotional distance, making them hesitant to share their struggles with you in the future. The same applies to friendships and social relationships. You may suggest that a friend eat healthier, spend less impulsively, or exercise more, but instead of appreciating your concern, they might feel judged or believe you are interfering too much in their personal life. This can lead to discomfort in the relationship, causing them to withdraw over time. A more effective approach is to ask before advising. A key principle to remember is to always seek permission before offering guidance. If someone truly wants your advice, they will come to you. Otherwise, letting them experience life and learn their lessons is best. Instead of saying, "You shouldn't eat that, it's bad for your health," try a more gentle approach like, "Would you like to hear some healthy eating tips I've learned?" If they show interest, you can share your knowledge. But if they don't, respect their decision without insisting. People don't reject advice because they don't care about you. They do it because they don't want to feel judged or lose control over their lives. When you learn to offer guidance thoughtfully and respectfully, you become someone they trust and rely on, rather than someone they avoid. Ultimately, what matters most isn't just what you say, but how and when you say it. 3. Becoming overly negative about everything. One of the quickest ways to push people away, often without realizing it, is by maintaining a consistently negative attitude in conversations. Life isn't always easy, especially as you move past 70. You have experienced many ups and downs. Health concerns become more pressing. Financial pressures aren't as simple as they once were, and disappointments within the family or society can weigh you down. No one denies these challenges are real, but if every conversation revolves around negativity, people will eventually stop wanting to listen. Negativity doesn't just affect you, it impacts those around you. Imagine if every time you saw your children or grandchildren, you only talked about illness, rising prices, or how younger generations aren't like they used to be. Would they still be excited to sit and chat with you? If every time you met friends, the conversation centered on how much you dislike modern life and how everything is going downhill, would they still want to spend time with you? When people feel that your presence drains them rather than uplifts them, they will find ways to avoid these interactions, even if they still care about you. Put yourself in their shoes. Would you want to spend time with someone who only talks about negative things? Probably not, and neither do those around you. This doesn't mean you have to pretend to be overly cheerful or ignore life's difficulties, but it does mean finding a balance between sharing struggles and embracing positivity. When you express gratitude and curiosity about life and share interesting or uplifting stories alongside your challenges, you'll notice that people connect with you more easily. A helpful way to adjust this habit is to become aware of your words. If you catch yourself leading a conversation toward complaints, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, is this the energy I want to bring into this conversation? If the answer is no, try shifting the topic to something more positive. A funny story you recently heard, a cherished memory, or even a compliment to the person you're speaking with. Sometimes, a small change in how you approach conversations can make them much lighter and more enjoyable. People don't distance themselves from you because they don't care, but because they don't want to feel emotionally drained after every interaction. A little self-awareness and effort in communicating can make a big difference. When you leave others with positivity, they will want to spend more time with you, not out of duty or obligation, but because they genuinely enjoy your presence. 4. Having unrealistic expectations of others. As people age, many naturally expect special attention from their children, grandchildren, friends, or loved ones. They hope family members will visit more often, call regularly, or spend more time chatting and caring for them. With lifelong friends, they may also expect the bond to remain as strong as before, when everyone had more time to gather and share stories. However, when these expectations are not met as desired, feelings of loneliness, sadness, and sometimes even resentment can arise. It's important to recognize that life continues to move forward, and your loved ones are also dealing with their challenges and responsibilities. Your children and grandchildren may be busy with work, raising their families, managing finances, or focusing on their careers. Friends of the same age may be struggling with their health issues or emotional difficulties, or simply have their priorities. It's not that they don't care about you. It's just that they might not always have the time or know how to express their care in the way you expect. When you focus too much on unmet expectations, you may unintentionally create pressure that makes others feel guilty or uncomfortable around you. If every conversation begins with reminders about how they don't call often enough, don't visit frequently, or don't show enough concern, it may make them feel obligated rather than genuinely wanting to connect. Relationships built on guilt or duty rarely feel fulfilling or long-lasting. Instead of waiting for others to reach out, be the one to initiate connections in a light-hearted and warm way. If you miss someone, pick up the phone yourself rather than hoping they will call. A simple message to check in or a sincere invitation to meet up can maintain relationships more naturally. Sometimes, a quick call to say that you were thinking about them and wanted to hear how they've been is enough to spark a meaningful conversation. Additionally, try expanding your social network rather than relying solely on a few people for connection. Join community activities, make friends with those who share your interests, and seek out new joys in life. When you create a fulfilling and independent life, people will naturally be drawn to your positive energy, rather than burdened by expectations. In short, rather than letting unmet expectations become barriers in relationships, seek happiness through different forms of connection. When you remain flexible and open-minded in maintaining relationships, you'll find that true care and affection come not from obligation, but from genuine love and appreciation. 5. Letting the past control your present. Beautiful memories are an important part of everyone's life. They remind us of vibrant youth, cherished traditions, and a time when everything seemed simpler and more connected. Understandably, the past holds many valuable lessons. When life was slower, people seemed more sincere, and family and friendships felt closer than today. However, spending too much time reminiscing about the past without truly engaging with the present may unintentionally create a barrier between yourself and those around you. You may have said or heard phrases like, "Things were so much better back in the day," or "Young people today don't appreciate traditional values." These thoughts stem from your personal experiences, but consider how they sound to younger generations. They don't share the same past, and the world they grew up in is vastly different. If conversations constantly revolve around negative comparisons between the past and the present, younger people may struggle to relate to you. They might want to share stories about their jobs, hobbies, or new experiences. Still, if they feel that you only focus on how things used to be better, they may assume you aren't truly interested in their world. And as a result, they may start avoiding conversations with you. No one says you should forget your treasured memories or stop valuing the past. But instead of dwelling solely on what has changed, try connecting those memories to the present more positively. If you want to share an old story, turn it into a conversation rather than a lecture. For example, instead of saying, "Back in my day, we would never do things this way. Young people today don't understand real values," try a more open approach like, We had our ways of enjoying life back then, but it's interesting to see all the new experiences available now. I'm curious, what is it like for you to try these things? A small shift in how you phrase things can make a huge difference, allowing younger family members to feel respected and more eager to share their lives with you. Additionally, consider learning from younger generations. Be curious about what they enjoy, a new type of music, a movie they love, or even a new technology that makes their work easier. When you show interest in their present rather than only reminiscing, they will see you as approachable, open-minded, and someone they genuinely enjoy spending time with. In the end, appreciating the past is wonderful, but don't let it become a wall between you and your loved ones. Find ways to connect memories with the present. Listen to younger generations with curiosity instead of judgment, and discover that the world around you is still full of fascinating things to explore. When you maintain this balance, people naturally want to be around you, not out of obligation, but because they genuinely enjoy your company. 6. Not respecting personal boundaries. Many older adults may not realize how they might unintentionally cross personal boundaries, leading their children, grandchildren, or friends to avoid conversations or visits. As we age, we may feel that our life experience gives us the right to offer opinions on everything. From how our children raise their kids, how friends manage their relationships, to even our neighbors' habits. While the intention may be to help or give useful advice, excessive involvement can sometimes feel like control, making others uncomfortable. In many families, older parents tend to interfere too much in their adult children's lives without recognizing that they are fully grown and have the right to make their own decisions. Questions like, "When are you getting married? Why haven't you had kids yet?" Or, "How much are you earning these days?" may come from a place of concern, but for the person being asked, they can feel like pressure, an invasion of privacy, or even judgment. These topics are particularly sensitive because everyone has struggles and pressures that they may not want to share or may not be ready to. They may start avoiding conversations if you frequently bring up such topics without considering their feelings. Personal boundaries are important for everyone, regardless of age. Respecting boundaries doesn't mean being indifferent or uncaring. It simply means allowing others the space to share in their way. Instead of asking intrusive or demanding questions, try a softer approach. For example, instead of directly asking, "When are you going to have a baby?" you could say, "Is there anything new in your life? I always love hearing about what's important to you." When you show respect and a willingness to listen without pressure, people will feel safer opening up to you. Similarly, no one likes to feel obligated to do something to please someone else. If you want your children or grandchildren to spend more time with you, instead of making strict demands like, "You have to visit me this week. I'm waiting for you," try saying something warmer like, "I miss you this week. If you have time, I'd love to see you." When you extend an invitation rather than an order, they will feel much more comfortable visiting, not out of obligation, but because they truly want to spend time with you. Respecting personal boundaries doesn't weaken your connections, it strengthens them. It allows relationships to flourish naturally, making interactions more comfortable and genuine. When you give others the space to share freely and avoid imposing your expectations on them, you'll find they are more willing to open up to you. Strong relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding. Sometimes, stepping back just a little is the key to keeping the ones you love close. Growing older doesn't mean you have to accept loneliness or gradually lose meaningful relationships. However, sometimes certain habits or behaviors, without us realizing it, can create distance between us and our loved ones. These changes may not be obvious initially, but they can cause children, grandchildren, and friends to drift away over time, leaving us wondering why. The good news is that you can change this. Recognizing these behaviors isn't about blaming yourself. It's about seizing the opportunity to adjust and strengthen your relationships. A small shift in communication, attitude, and understanding can make a huge difference. It can help ensure that your family and friends want to be around you not out of obligation, but because they genuinely enjoy and appreciate your presence. No one expects you to completely change who you are, but being flexible, open-minded, and considerate in your interactions can help preserve and deepen the bonds that matter most. By making small adjustments, you're maintaining relationships and creating a positive environment where people feel comfortable, valued, and eager to spend time with you. Among the 6 key factors we've discussed, which do you think has the greatest impact on relationships as we age? Have you noticed any of these patterns in yourself or those around you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Whether it's personal experiences, real-life observations, or strategies you've used to maintain strong relationships over time, your insights could help others reflect on their interactions with family, friends, and society. Together, we can create a more positive and meaningful way of connecting. Don't hesitate to share your opinions. Every perspective adds valuable insight. If you find this content helpful, don't forget to share it so more people can learn and strengthen their relationships.